Everyone, it's me, Freyja, and welcome back to K-Pop Cosmos. Once again, joining me is my co-host, Mark. What's up, Mark?
Hey, Freyja, what is going on? I am so excited to be talking about K-pop today. You have no idea.
Oh, really? Yeah, it feels like we haven't talked about it in a while. At least for me, I've been like feeling like it's been a drought. Plus, today I always say this, but I'm super excited about who we're talking about because this guy, he is the first. Anyway, I'm already getting ahead of myself. So today we are talking about the legendary Rain. All right. So, Rain, do you know Rain, Mark?
I do know Rain. I wasn't 100% familiar with his earlier music, but my introduction to Rain was as a actor in one of my favorite movies of all time, Speed Racer.
Oh, yeah. He was in Speed Racer. Oh, he was actually pretty good in that movie.
That's when there was like they, as they were doing the press for the movie and showing all of the actors, they showed him and people went absolutely nuts. I'm like, who is this guy?
Oh yeah. So Rain is so when we're talking about Rain, my introduction to him, I like to watch like Korean TV shows and variety shows. That's how I really got into K-pop. So he was the first person, I think the only person I have ever heard the actual the Korean entertainment industry referred to as the king of K-pop.
Wow.
Like, he is the only person who I would watch TV shows and stuff, and his introduction was the king of K-pop. Like, he is the king of K-pop. Your faves are, they love Rain. They even still do covers of his song that came out in the early 2000s, Rainism. Everyone does a cover for that song. BTS did a cover of that song. Everyone does a cover of that song. And that song is like 2000, I don't know, 7 or 8. But like, he is legendary status. And I don't care if you like him or not, but that's just the Korean industry. He is a legend. Everyone knows him. Everyone loves him. He's attractive. And he's just one of those, and they call him Rain or B. So when they say B, it means Rain. That's his stage name. So anyway, before I gush two more. So originally Rain had a rough time. So he actually debuted in a boy group back in, I want to say it was 1996. I want to say. And he was 16 at the time. And they released 2 albums. The group name, and this is a pain in the butt to research, was called Fan Club. And it's really hard to search for a group called Fan Club. So they
type in K-pop Fan Club and you get 100 different things that has nothing to do with this band whatsoever.
Yeah, there's like nothing on this band. They do have their music on Naver. I can't pronounce it. It's like Korean Spotify. Think of it that way. So they do have their music on there. You just have to look it up with the Korean alphabet. You can't just write Fan Club in English. You actually have to write it in Korean. So they only lasted 2 years before they failed. And then in 2002, he debuted under JYP as Rain. And he apparently, they did an interview with him. What was it? It was an American CNN or someone in some network in the US did an interview with him. And he talked about how he kept getting rejected because he didn't have double eyelids. Yeah, because back in the day, they wanted everyone to have the double eyelids, but Rain didn't do that. He kept his monolids, which I love. Anyway, you know, I don't at the double lids. I'm like, whatever. But so he kept getting, you know, turned down because of that, which is ridiculous. Like, oh, you can sing and dance really well, but your eyelids are wrong. So,
right.
Sorry. So JYP got him. JYP at this time was brand new too. I think they only had like God at this point in him. So JYP is relatively new at this point. As of 2015, he has his own label called the Rain Company. His fan club is called Cloud because clouds bring the rain. Gotta bring that rain in. And his fan color is silver. You know, gray clouds. You know.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
This man is 6 feet tall, and you'll see that if you ever see him in shows. He towers over everyone.
that blew me away when I saw that he was 6 feet. I'm like, that can't be right. There's got to be a typo. But no, he's really that tall. Yeah,
he is a tall man. It's just ridiculous. He was born in 1982. He has Instagram and he has Twitter and TikTok. So find him on those things. Let's see. He left JYP in 2007, went to J-Tune Entertainment, and then he switched over to Cube Entertainment in 2013, and now he has his own company, kind of like Psy did. They jumped companies. Yep. So let's read his accolades, shall we? Let me see. Okay. So Rain has received numerous accolades for both music and acting, including 6 Mnet Music Awards, 3 Golden Disc Awards, 9 KBS Drama Awards, 2 Baksang Arts Awards, and in 2008 he was ranked 3rd among 100 leaders of the Korean entertainment industry. He was named one of Time's 100 most influential people in the world in 2016 and 2011. He also was on the list of most attractive, the most handsome men in the world list back in, what was it, 2008 or something like that. Let's see. 2007, he was on People's Most Beautiful People list. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. He had a dance-off with Colbert.
Yeah, I read about that. Stephen Colbert wanted to challenge him to a dance-off because he was Time Magazine's most influential person that year.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember when that came out. That was funny. He also won MTV's Biggest Badass for his role in Ninja Assassin. I remember that. I think it might still be on. His acceptance speech was actually kind of funny. He goes up, he goes, why so? He goes up, he slaps his ass, he goes, And he goes, why so serious? It pans across the crowd that, like, it shows Angelina Jolie, who he beat, by the way. He beat Angelina Jolie for this award. And she looked pissed. He's like, yeah, okay, thanks. And he just walks off. It was the funniest thing. I was like, oh, God. But he is everywhere. I watched him in his show Full House, which was a great drama. He also performed it, which was kind of ironic because he's Korean. He sang the theme song of the 2008 Beijing Olympic Games, and he also performed in their closing ceremonies, even though he's Korean. So he was highly, highly influential. He also had a 2-day event at Madison Square Garden. This man has just, there's too much to talk about, to be perfectly honest. This man's done a lot, like with acting and just everything. So he is, let's see, he got married in 2017. I remember that. And then he also had a baby girl of the same year. And then he had a second daughter 2 years later. Let's see. Yeah. He was a mentor in Big Hits Entertainment's Island. And yeah, so he's done a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I actually watched his shows. I like him as an actor. He's pretty good. And I remember when the movie Ninja Assassin came out, which I own that movie. He was down to 5% body fat for that movie. Like I said, I watched everything that he was talking about, and I watched the reviews, and there is one, and it still sticks with me. And I'm like, please do your research before you do things. Because the guy's like, this guy, he's like, this, he was talking about Ray, and he said he hasn't even done any acting before. And I'm like, dude. I was like, man, no, first of all, he has done many TV shows in Korea, and just because it's in Korea doesn't mean negate it. Sorry. And he was also in Speed Racer. I was like, do some freaking research, man. I was like, don't just hate to hate. At least have a good reason to hate. But I was like, whatever. And I was like, they're like, he's a nobody. I'm like, and that was also the year that he was on the 100 most influential men in the world list. I'm like, he's not a nobody if he's on that list. He was also really high up. I think he was like number 2.
Yeah, that's usually what happens when any K-pop artist kind of bleeds over into the Western world, and their popularity is out of control because a lot of people, K-pop builds its own fan base. Yeah. And if you're into it, you're absolutely into it. But a lot of the outside world doesn't really notice it at all. So that's why, someone that, you can go around, everyone watches movies, everyone knows who Angelina Jolie is and Tom Cruise and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But, someone who is like equally popular in the other 80% of the world and America has no idea who he is. It's always kind of a little bit of a shock when, their name suddenly appears on a list that no one even knew who it was. And it's not because it's partly because, we're just in a way before the internet, we're not really up on worldwide events, worldwide popularity. The internet pretty much changed all of that. So now it shouldn't be a surprise. I was watching something recently. They made a joke about not a joke, but a reference to BTS.
Yeah.
It's like a regular reference, right? And 10 years ago, no one would have known what a K-pop group was. And now they say that they can reference BTS and everyone knows what they're talking about. So, Rain is definitely one of those people who were making this before this big wave that's happening now.
Yeah, he was definitely part of the first wave, and he was a big part of the first wave. Like, like I said, I watched his show, Full House, and that one had, I don't know how they do it, but like, he brought in 40. That show alone had 42 point something% of the viewership of the TV shows. Yeah, I was like, holy cow! And then his Chinese drama, Diamond Lover, that one had really high ratings, and that was in 2015. It had 3.3 billion people watching it.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap, man. So to say this guy's a powerhouse is an understatement. But you can definitely, you want to see a picture of his wedding? I completely forgot to show it. I apologize. So this is Young Rain that I was used to. So Young Rain back in the day, like Full House, they got the long hair going on and it's all puffy. Also, this man does not like wearing shirts. So you get to see the abs a lot. And then, oh, here is his first group. This is the only picture I could find of them. The only group. And he's right there. Hello, Lorraine. So this is fan club.
I'm sorry. I just want to take a second. Like, look at this boy group, and then think about like where he is now, or
I know, right?
what he evolved into. Like, if there's no way you can look at this group and be like, oh yeah, look at these handsome young lads being all goofy and smiley. One of these guys is going to grow up to be one of the sexiest men you've ever seen. You would not have guessed it from this picture.
They're not going to guess it's this one in the back. They probably would have gone with either him or him, you know. But yeah, this is fan club. The only picture I could find of them anywhere. Oh yeah, this is his body during Ninja Assassin. So he worked 6 hours a day every day for 6 months for this. And yeah, 5% body pat. Look at this, man. Look at this. I wish I had the drive to do that. Here's his wedding picture. She's so pretty. It's so cute. So anyway, done with these. Back to the normal picture, Rain. So Rain's music, you can totally tell that he's very much a first gener with the style of his music. But I love that style. Also, I highly recommend Rainism because everyone does a cover of that song. Also, apparently, Rainism was controversial because it was sexual, and so he had to put like so it wouldn't be banned. He had to put like a parental advisory.
Oh my goodness!
On it, and I read it and I listen to it, and I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I don't get it, Korea. I really don't, but you guys do. You do you, I guess. But let's see. JYP once said in 2005 he earned $35 million in revenue for that year alone in 2003. I'm like, this guy achieved global success without the internet, pretty much. Like, I don't know how these first geners did it, to be perfectly honest. Like, he was winning awards left and right. And it's just great. I will say, like I said, his music is very of his time. And you can always tell when he's with JYP because JYP will do his little whisper, JYP.
Oh, my God.
JYP.
I tell you, like, I'm a huge fan of JYP. Huge fan of JYP. Love him. And, the JYP whisper on the songs it's always, I know it's annoying to some people. Some songs I find it endearing, but there's a bunch of songs like he didn't quite learn the whisper part. So a lot of Rain's early songs, JYP is screaming to the microphone. It's JYP, ready for Rain. Dude, why are you screaming? So I'm so glad that he eventually adopted the JYP whisper because, man, his screaming over Rain songs was annoying the hell out of me.
But it's so fun to go back and listen to them now. They're just funny at this point. But yeah, so Rain, because he's gone through a lot of generations now, his style changed a lot. He likes the suits and he likes not having his shirt on. But is there any like particular song or dance or music video that you really liked?
Because he's been around for so long, there's so many different videos that he's made. And, even though he is a solo artist, I noticed that he does tend to do a lot of the, not boy band things, but a lot of the choreography. It is usually him in the middle with like surrounded by maybe 6 or 7 other male dancers. And they're all doing very tight choreography. And a lot of his videos have that, which I thought was really cool. Because, even though he is a solo artist, he still kind of works in that boy band kind of visual style. But there was one video where it's for a song called I Do. And it's just like him in like a white like cotton outfit, like making a video.
Oh yeah, that one's cute.
His girlfriend. And he sings and he has like a very, I wouldn't say a high voice, but kind of he uses his kind of like high voice, I guess you could say.
His falsetto.
His
almost.
falsetto a lot when he sings. He used a deep voice, and I was not ready for that. I was like, whoa, my man has range, and he flows in it so smoothly. I'm like, okay, all right, Rain, I see you. So yeah, I Do was definitely a big one of my favorite ones for the earlier stuff.
Yeah.
And there was another one that the song is okay, but the video is amazing. It's called I'm Coming, and it has like a post-apocalyptic look. It's all like,
oh yeah,
and he like descends from the sky with angel wings.
Oh yeah. His backup dancers like come out from the rubble, don't they? Like they crawl out of the rubble.
It's like the rain is coming down. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, this guy.
He is like, descending.
The video is amazing. The song is okay, but the video is absolutely amazing. But
Yeah.
all of his later stuff is the stuff that I really, really gravitate towards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. The I Am Coming, I laugh every time. I love it so much. But yeah, I agree. The music video is amazing. The song's okay. It's also one of the ones where JYP is going, JYP and Rain. I think at the beginning. But yeah, it's great. Like he gets these angel wings. He descends like, I am here now, gracing you with my presence in this battlefield. And like they all come out like zombies, you know. It was weird. It was a weird, great music video. But all of his older stuff kind of have that vibe to them, you know. You're like, what is going on, Rain? Like seriously. For me, music video wise, oh god, I think I loved Switch to Me the most.
My goodness.
Because that's a duet with JYP, and it is my favorite music video. I'm just gonna straight up say it is my favorite music video of his, because essentially they're like trying to get this girl to pick them to date them, and like every time JYP shows up, it's like the most hilarious scene. And like Rain has the best reactions, and it's just hilarious. And then at the switch at the end was just came out of left field, and I died laughing. I just could not stop laughing at this. And I think my favorite part of the music video is when Rain is having that like dinner with the girl in the high rise. Yeah. And then JYP just descends in a helicopter, and his voice is all muted because he's outside. Right. I was like, what is this music video? I love it so much. It's so great. And I don't know who the actress or model they have for the girl, but she's amazing. I also want to highlight Rain's Magnetic featuring Jackson Wang from GOT7. That one's really good. And also with that one, what's really cool about it is that not only Jackson featured, but it was directed, scripted, produced, lyrics were written, composed, and arranged by Jackson.
Wow. I had like no idea.
Yeah. So it's directed by Jackson Wang and Mameso Zhao. I'm going Chinese with that. Scripted by Jackson, produced by Team Wong, Sublime Artist Agency, Rain Company, and Core A Creative. Lyrics by Jackson Wang. Boy Toy One Way, composed by Jackson Wang. Boy Toy One Way, arranged by Jackson Wang. Boy Toy or Wang. Sorry, I'm saying his last name wrong. And One Way. So like Jackson was not only like this is Jackson's song and music video, but he's like, hey Rain, you want to be in my? He's like, hey Rain, you want to be in this? And I loved it. It was a great like one-shot music video, in black and well, it wasn't really one. Yeah, I think it was one shot, and it was just I thought it was well done. It was beautifully done. The song was good, but I'm also a Jackson fan, so you know. Also, performance-wise, oh god, he's so good performing. Did you watch the how to say her name? Changhwa?
Yes, Changha, yes.
Changha. They have a performance video. It's a one-shot performance video. So, and that I think is my favorite version of that music video. That one's also beautifully well done. And then another one. I spent so many days just watching these things. He did a Pepsi commercial. Did you watch this one?
Oh no, I missed that one.
Okay, so he did a Pepsi commercial. Because you know they do like Pepsi music videos. It has Monsta X in it, Brave Girls, and ATs in it as well.
Wow.
It's great. It came out like last year, 2 years ago, 2001. So it's fun, and I'm like, how is this a commercial? But yeah, it's great. It's fun. You get to see a highlight of all of these different groups. And I just love how Rain is so iconic, but he's still he also did a Pepsi commercial with Christina Aguilera.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that too. I gotta find that.
Yeah. That one's old. But yeah, he's like the Pepsi guy. This was back when he was doing, I think, Ninja Assassin again. But yeah, it's a very old Pepsi commercial with Rain and Christina Aguilera. It's great. Like I said, I spent a lot of days just going through the rabbit hole. But yeah, this man, I always loved when he came out onto K-pop shows, because I'm like, we're going to have some dance battles for some reason. Because he is a great dancer. But song-wise, I don't even know what my favorite song is from him. Because it depends on my mood. But I am going to probably go with, like, currently my favorite song from him is 30 Sexy. I hated the style the little thing he was doing during this promotional era. Was that kiss, the lips on his cheek.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He had that in every music video and all of his performances. I hated it. I hated the little kiss on the cheek. I thought it was cringy, to be perfectly honest. But I did appreciate the suits. But yeah, I think right now 30 Sexy is my favorite song. It's not my favorite video by any means, or the dance is really fun to watch too, but that song, I don't know what it is about it, but it's very much like my vibing song right now.
Yeah.
I
agree. I would say 30 Sexy is probably one of my top songs by him. That one, and there's a song called Gang that has an amazing chorus. The verse is a little is a little questionable, but like the beginning of the song, like there's major chunks of that song that are just like amazing, like really solid. That it doesn't really sound like a Rain song. It sounds like something you would hear from maybe like Big Bang, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's really, I thought it was really, really cool.
Yeah, I remember, yes, that one where he has like the linebacker jacket thing going on, where it's like huge shoulders. Everyone's wearing the Rain hats, which I would want, honestly. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I want one of those hats. Yeah, it's very, yeah, I agree. That song's very like shocking as a Rain song for me. But then I got to remember, he was in his 90s group back in the day. He was a rapper. He wasn't a vocalist. He was the rapper of the group.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, so he knew how to do this. I mean, he knew how to rap, but you know, quality question, you know, with that. But he was the rapper of his group back in the 90s, and then he became a singer. So it's just always kind of a shock when he goes back to that.
Sure.
Even though that was kind of his thing. It's like, what's a comparison that you could do? It's like hearing like G Dragon, like, what's it? Sing or Top just sing. Like, instead of rapping, they're just singing all the time, and then they switch to you know, it is. But yeah, Rain was a rapper originally. So it's just it is, but he doesn't go back to that very often.
No.
Which is why it's such a like, where did this come from? This is like the ballad man, you know.
Rain knows where his bread is buttered at. It's like, all right, give me the slow jam or give me the dance off. and make sure I don't have a shirt on, and we'll just count the money. It's very easy.
Exactly. This man never wants a shirt on. Like all of his music videos, he's ripping it open, or it's open, or he's wearing the crop top. And I'm not complaining. I mean, it is what it is. You know. Yeah. I think there's even a video of him just straight up dancing shirtless. Yes, there is on YouTube. He's wearing an orange hat, and you get to see all the muscles in their glory flexing. Like it is like, I think in the Changla dance video with her, the music video, he doesn't have a shirt on either, and you can like see every single muscle, like in, and not just the abs, like even the ones down the sides of his, I don't even know what they're called, but like it's so distracting. I'm like, where did all these muscles come from? I didn't even know we had these. But he's still so like smooth in his dancing, even though he's so muscular. It's so hypnotic to watch. Like I'm watching the shirtless dance video right now, and I'm like, holy crap. Why you like this, man? But what is there a particular era of Rain that you like the best?
You know, I actually liked his debut era. Is that even though the sounds are kind of dated, you can tell that he was very much inspired by like Usher. Like there's a very Usher style to his videos in the beginning. So I actually really like those. And I like that JYP, you know, brought this kid in and really pushed him up to the front. I mean, he's a big star, but JYP put a lot of money behind him because his videos look amazing. Even his debut video looks pretty amazing. So I like the early stuff. You know, there's different kind of styles, but it's definitely very much like a Usher R&B type of style. And then later on, it seems like it's kind of geared more towards like the middle part. It seems like it's geared a little more towards like a Justin Timberlake type of style.
Yeah.
But then the end stuff, like his most recent stuff, is the stuff that I love the most. Like Switch to Me, Magnetic, all of the later stuff that he's done. That's the stuff where I'm like, oh, because you know, even like Gang, or even like Why Don't We with Changha, it sounds very modern. It doesn't really sound like it sounds modern, but it doesn't really sound like anything else that's happening right now. You know what I mean? It sounds very unique and original, and very it feels to me that he's very comfortable doing these like newer type of styles. And I'm like, dude, you've been in the game for a while. You could just rest on your laurels. You know, you don't have to, you know, push yourself creatively, but he does. And I think it works. I think it actually works really good. And the Switch to Me duet with JYP has such an amazing 90s like Bobby Brown vibe to it.
Yeah, it really does.
I absolutely love. That's my jam. And I remember when that video came out, it came out at the end of the year. So it's like 3 years ago, I think. And you know, you get to the end of the year and everyone makes this is my top song of the year, this is my top video of the year, K-pop. And then they drop this video like on January 30th. And everyone is like, oh no, we have to redo our list now because this song is obviously amazing. So yeah, I love that video. That's probably one of my favorite ones by him.
Yeah, I agree. And it's funny that you mentioned Usher and Justin Timberlake, because Rain said that he is influenced by Usher and Justin Timberlake and Michael Jackson.
Of course.
So you got that dead on. But yeah, he very much does. Because Usher, for those, because we're old, for those of you who don't know who Usher is, he used to do this thing with his hat all the time, like the look down move with the hat. And you know, he very much has the smooth dancing too. That's the thing. I also remember the Band-Aid, but like Usher had this unique look to him that if you watch some Usher videos and stuff, and then you watch Rain, you'll be like, oh yeah. You know, they're so like close or resembling each other. It's ridiculous. But I love Usher, so that's probably like why I like Rain so much too. I love Usher. let's see. So also Rain, along with some other movies, he was also in a movie with Bruce Willis, Jason Patrick, and John Cusack.
No way.
Yeah. So it bombed in the box office because they did the select theater thing where they don't put it in all the theaters. It came out in 2014. It was called The Prince.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, so apparently Rain's in it too. I completely forgot about this movie. I had heard about it, but I was like, I forgot Rain was in it. Like, I never watched it. I was like, oh yeah, because I heard that it was going to happen back in, because I followed Rain like online as best as I could, and they were talking about it. And then I thought it never happened. I thought they never released it because it never came out in theaters near me. But I guess they just did the whole, it'll go out in like 9 theaters thing. Because I don't know, it's death to the movie. But yeah, so it's out there if you want to watch it. I don't know how good it is. It might be one of those gems where it's actually really good, even though it did badly in the box office.
Yeah, I think that was the beginning of Bruce Willis is known to, if you have like Netflix or Amazon Prime, you can just type in Bruce Willis and search his movies. You'll see like 80 movies that you've never heard of.
Yeah.
They're all with Bruce Willis. He makes an appearance in all of them. That movie, The Prince, was kind of the beginning of the straight to streaming Bruce Willis movies that's in there now. So I can understand it probably is a really good movie. It probably just, didn't catch on, but I can totally understand how something with that kind of pedigree could have just slipped under the radar.
Yeah, it's like why am I blanking on his name? Everyone memes him to hell and back.
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas, yes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Nick Cage. He is also one of those people where he has a million movies that you've never heard of. They're actually good. Like there's one called like The Pig or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And the Willy's Wonderland, where he literally doesn't say a single word in the entire damn movie, but it's so great. It's like Five Nights at Freddy's movie, but he's killing the animatronics. It's great. It's one of those like great movies, but they never like came out in theaters, and so you've never heard about it. So yeah, Nick, he's the same way as Bruce Willis. You type in their name and you get all these like movies you've never heard of, and they're awesome. But anyway, so speaking of movies and such, Rain, I didn't know this, and I should have because we talked about FX. He was in a movie with Crystal. Or a show, I think. Movie?
Really?
It's My Lonely Girl. It was a TV series, yeah. So he played opposite of her. That came out in 2014. I think there's only 16 episodes. So guys, get your Viki accounts out and see if you can find this. Because as my mother, she sees some of the people we're looking at, and she goes, "Oh, he's handsome." She's like, "Oh, he's handsome." I'm like, "Yeah, he's very handsome." But he's very unique looking. He also did a lot of shows with people. I'm like, why do I know this name? Like actresses Tiffany Tang. And I was like, why do I know that? And Louis Yufei. Sorry, my Chinese sucks, guys. I apologize. I took many years. Can't pronounce things still. But I was like, how do I know these names? I just watched too many Asian shows. I don't know that name. But yeah, Rain. If I would want to introduce someone to Rain, what music video would I pick? Or what would you pick if you want to introduce Rain to people? What would you choose?
That's tough because he's, he has so many different kind of styles and vibes. That's tough. I would say, I would I would probably have to say either It's Raining or Rainism. Yeah.
I agree. I would probably do Rainism or Sad Tango, I think.
Oh, what a great song that is.
I know. It's one of those gems. The music videos, because of how old they are, they're like, what is this? You know, it's so old. It's like music videos they're small and they're all pixely, but they're just great. I think Rainism's music video, just to like touch on that, do you have any idea what's going on in that music video? Because I try to put it together and I'm like, I don't know.
No, I could.
Yeah.
I turn my brain off and just enjoy the dance moves. That's it.
Yeah, because a lot of his music videos, he has a story. I think I'm Coming, like Rain, that one had a story too, but I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, like Sad Tango had a story, Rainism has a story, but I have no idea what it is. Like all I know is that he's made of water. The old man has a cockroach come on his face, and like there's a firebender or something. I have no idea what's going on. You know, but the I Do one was really sweet because he's doing like a proposal video for his girlfriend. It's super freaking cute. I love it, and I love how like cutesy he is in that video too. He's like super adorable, and the freaking anime hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Of the time period. I love that time period. It was like, and it's straight up his anime hair. I remember everyone had that hair. It was long and it was spiky and poofy. It was beautiful and I miss it so much. And then I think the music video with the best. Oh, so right to my original one. I think I would introduce them using Sad Tango, and I think I'll even add Love Story in there. Did you watch that one or hear that song?
Yes. You know what? I did watch. Unfortunately, I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched a chunk of it, but it's in my notes to go back and rewatch it because that was like it was a real like K-drama vibe to it, and I'm like, oh, I have to see how this ends. But I didn't go back to finish it.
Well, I won't give you spoilers then, but it really is a K-drama. It's beautiful. You get to see his fighting skills in there.
Oh, nice.
It's a full-on drama and it's awesome. I love his storytelling in some of his videos, whether I know what's going on or not. But yeah, if you have a friend that's in the like 90s stuff and early 2000s music, stick with one of those though. But yeah, is there like anything else you would like to highlight about him that we haven't touched on? I'm kind of all over the place with this guy. He has so much going on.
Yeah, I did come across, there was a long time ago, BMW had like some new promotion that they were doing where a lot of it was they were hiring filmmakers to make little vignettes, little films, where they could, create almost any story. And then somewhere in that story, a BMW would appear. And I thought that in the American, maybe it wasn't American, maybe it was British, but there is a version where there's a bunch of these short movies. They all star Clive Owen as like a driver, almost like a Jason Statham transporter type of character. And different directors made them, and they're really cool. But I didn't know that there was a South Korean version of that. So there's like a 20-minute movie with Rain as a guy that's trying to save someone and save like a girl that he grew up with. I think I wasn't quite. I don't quite know the whole story, but JYP plays the gangster.
Oh, jeez.
And I won't give away the ending, but it does have a really strange ending. But mainly it's a girl gets taken away and Rain has to go and rescue her. And JYP is the gangster behind it all. And I'm watching this movie waiting for the music to kick in. And like 15 minutes in, I'm like, wait a minute. This is a movie. This isn't a music video. But it leads right into, I believe it's the movie. And then the song that comes after it is called Still Believe. So whatever the video for Still Believe is, the story behind that comes right before that. It's I want to say it's like she was a ballerina and got caught up in a life of crime or something like that. I don't know, but it's pretty amazing. It's probably like 20 minutes, and it's a BMW like original movie. But I would just like to see JYP as a as a gangster at the end of it. I thought that was actually pretty funny.
JYP inserts himself in like the weirdest things. There was something. So in Ninja Assassin, once again, I was really heavily into things. He created a boy group, and I can't remember the name. I'm trying to remember the name. What was his name? Because I think Dara's brother was in the group as well. What was his name? Oh, that's the group. There it is. Okay, the group was called M Black.
Oh, I've heard of them.
Yeah, so it's weird because for some reason. Okay, so he doesn't talk about on Rain's Entertainment, and when you look up Rain's boy group, they only come up with Cypher. They kind of ignore M Black, so which is weird because I was like, this is his first group, but then it's not his. All right, it was Sandra Park's brother, I think, who was in it, who is now an actor. We'll touch on them because I was a fan of them too. But one of the vocalists was in Ninja Assassin with him, and that's how he got recruited. Was Rain liked him.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, okay, it just popped in my head. I'm like, Rain found one of his boy group members while doing Ninja Assassin. But so something else to highlight with Rain. So he did a lot of humanitarian work. So 2005 to 2007, he donated money to have 50 drinking water wells and playgrounds built in Cambodia. He also started taking up a lot of causes related to children. He participated in the Love Photography exhibit to help find adoptive parents for children in government care. He donated a percent, they don't say, of his 2006-2007 World Tour concert proceeds to children orphaned by AIDS, participating in Green Ribbon Hope walking campaign to raise funds for prevention to help find missing children. And to help find missing children. Due to his work, they gave him the World Vision HIV/AIDS Ambassador. He was appointed as the World Vision HIV/AIDS Ambassador in 2007. And now he's doing environmental stuff. And he volunteered in the Tian oil spill cleanup, and he donated over 300 million won for clean water and clothing for the residents in 2008. He was also involved in the MTV Exit campaign against human trafficking in Asia. And then, of course, he also does concerts for charitable events and causes. So he does a lot of humanitarian work as well. Like I said, this man does so much. Like, he has done so much stuff. And I am always amazed by the people who were able to do this without social media, to like achieve what they achieved without social media in international markets. It's just amazing because it's a lot easier with social media because people can like share everything.
Yep.
But like back then, it didn't happen. You know, you didn't. If you wanted to get in contact with your idol, they had to set up like a fan email. You know, like, and maybe they'll read it. Doubt it. It was always like some staff member, but like, it's absolutely crazy how big and how popular and how influential this man was and is.
Yes.
Even ATEEZ did a cover of Gang recently.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I was like, once again, your favorites people are doing covers and songs of this man, or they have in the past. Like, he is the king of K-pop. Like, he is the emperor of K-pop. He's the only person I've ever heard the industry called the king of it. Like, you know, your fans always call them kings and whatever, but like the actual industry called him this. Like, you have no idea how big that is. Like, this man was massive. And we already talked about the queen of K-pop, which was Boa, and that was another thing. They had the king, the queen, and the princess on one show. We haven't talked about the princess of K-pop. We will talk about her, but like they're like, we have royalty here. It's the king of K-pop, Ray, the princess of K-pop, and the queen of K-pop, Boa, and it was like it's just. When their actual industry calls them that, you gotta respect that, because their actual industry, the actual community, like not just the fans, are calling them that, and there's a reason for that. So, and it's not like how much. It's just insane, He did. I don't really focus on scandals and things. He did have legal stuff like everyone does when they get popular and big and whatnot. There's always something going on, so we're not going to talk about that. I don't like talking about it unless it's something actually really important, and even then I skim over it. Like, we didn't really talk about the Sungri thing, so I'm not talking about anything else. So
right.
Yeah, Rain.
There is a couple of things that in my research. There's as I mentioned before, I'm a huge Speed Racer fan. Love Speed Racer. Like, it had nothing to do with Rain or the Wachowskis. If anyone made a Speed Racer movie, it would probably be one of my favorite things. But after watching Speed Racer and loving as much as I did, when Ninja Assassin came out, I'm embarrassed to say I never saw it.
Oh,
until recently, until very, very recently.
Yeah.
And it's really bloody. I had no
Yeah,
idea
it is.
what the movie was. I was like, Jesus, this movie is how old, and it's this gory? Oh my God.
Yeah, it was great.
He's amazing in it. I thought he was great in it.
Yeah.
So something else I wanted to look into was a movie that he was in called, and it's been on my list to watch forever, called I'm a Cyborg, But That's Okay.
Yeah, the comedy romance. Yeah.
It's the director of Old Boy, or he did like the whole Vengeance trilogy, which I loved. And I'm like, oh, I love this director. I got to see what else he's done. And then I saw that movie, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I'm gonna put that on my watch list, but I never got around to watching it. And then I found out that Rain is in it, so I'm like, okay, now I've got to move that up the list and watch that. And then the other thing is, he was in a group recently called SSAK3. Him and Lee Hyori. And I remember like their music video debuting. I remember when that video came out, I'm like, they seem a little old for a K-pop group. And the fact that he was like the maknae of the group. So now I'm like, all right, I have to dig a little bit deeper into this group, because I really liked that video that they came out with, but I thought it was, I don't know, I just thought it was strange, but I didn't really dig that deep into it. But I did like it. I liked it a lot. But now that I know that, he was in it, and now I know a little bit more about the other people that were in it, now I'm going to do a deeper dive on that one.
Yeah, it's so you just named the princess of K-pop. That's Lee Hyori. She even in her, like, some of her songs, they call her the princess. I was like, yeah, there's the trifecta of royalty. Boa, Lee Hyori, and Rain. There we go. But yeah, I didn't, that their group, I feel like it was supposed to be kind of a joke at the same time, because I think one of the guys is a comedian.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But I've seen him. I mean, obviously he hosts. God forgive me, I can't think of the name of the show, but he's a host of one of the biggest, variety shows in Korea. But I think at some point he must have actually been in a band, because I've seen like pictures of him like performing.
Let me see. Yeah, he's very well known. Everyone should know him if they watch Korean TV shows. He's like everywhere. Let's see. Television shows. He's in Running Man, Happy Together, Hang Out with You, Infinite Challenge. Quick Wit. Establishment with top comedians. Well-known, popular celebrities in Korea. Let's see if he was ever a singer. Step by Step. So let's see. His television debut was on KBS Comedian Festival. He performed a parody of a commercial, dancing to a cover of the song "Step by Step" by New Kids on the Block.
He's not a performer.
I know. So I guess he was also on X-Men, which I loved that show. So it just looks like he was a comedian, but he also can sing. Yeah, they have instruments, vocals. He sings trot, so he can sing trot.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, yeah. So I guess by including him, his name is Yujay Suk.
Yeah.
So by including him in a band with Lee Hyori and Rain, the whole thing must be some kind of a joke.
Yeah.
They made a music video, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I can vibe to this."
Yeah.
I guess the joke is still worked on me.
Yeah, it's still really good. Like, what is it? Like, it's kind of ridiculous that all the hidden talents that you can find with celebrities. Like, oh, I didn't know they could sing. I didn't know they could dance. But I was just surprised he started out as a comedian and not like in a K-pop group, to be perfectly honest. The Ju Young. But yeah. So any closing thoughts with Rain? I'm trying to gather mine because I'm always so scatterbrained. Even with my notes, I'm scatterbrained.
Yeah, I would suggest checking out. I mean, obviously, the guy's been around forever, so there's like a gazillion music videos, but definitely check out some of his newer stuff. The duet with Jackson, the duet with Chang'a is awesome, and a duet with JYP. I think he really found a nice place for himself, being an elder statesman of K-pop. It's always funny seeing like all of the younger groups like freak out when he shows up.
Yeah, it's great.
And I also want to recommend watching Speed Racer because the movie's amazing and he's great in it.
Yeah, I mean he got cast for Ninja Assassin from that movie.
Yeah.
So they saw his fight and they're like, yeah, we like this guy. So they cast him. They're like, hey, you want to be in another movie and be the lead role? He's like, okay. I also highly recommend checking out Rain. And not just like, if you like old stuff like the 90s and early 2000s, go check out his old stuff first. If you like more modern things, and I would just check out his new stuff first and then move backwards. Just so I can, you don't want to like, what is this? His music videos are ridiculous sometimes, but other times they're just like awesome. I highly recommend his dance videos, or just I love the dancing. And just as another highlight, this man beat Barack Obama and Lady Gaga in a poll, a timed 100 poll. So he's popular for a reason, guys. Like, definitely check him out. Like, and just kind of ignore some of the style choices. But yeah, I highly recommend him. I love him so much. And not just because of the abs. I just love him. Right. He's funny. He's great to watch on TV shows too. So anything he's in, acting wise, I highly recommend. And just because I'm biased, I recommend Full House. It's a great show. And I do recommend the So I'm a Cyborg movie. If you can handle gore, Ninja Assassin, just don't expect like a deep storyline.
No.
With that one. Just go for the fights and stuff. And and Speed Racer is a good time too. So one of my favorite lines in Ninja Assassin is the guys are like looking at surveillance footage of this killer that's going around, and they're like, they see him and they're like, wait, this guy's supposed to be a ninja? He looks like he should be in a boy band. Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love that movie. So good. But yeah, anyway, thank you again for joining us, guys, on this month's episode of K-Pop Cosmos. I have been your host, Freyja. You can catch me on the Definitive Crusade, where we talk about all things DC Comics. And what have you got going on, Mark?
Yep, so you can catch me every week on Soul Wizard Podcast. We are doing new release movie reviews. We've been doing a new movie review every week for 10 weeks straight. So that means every week we have to drag our butts to the theater and watch a new release. Coming up, we will be talking about the new Nicolas Cage movie, Renfield.
Oh,
Which spoilers, it's also very bloody. Like, I could not believe how gory it was. I watched 2 gory movies this past week, Renfield and Ninja Assassin.
awesome.
Yeah, check us out, soulwizardpodcast.com or wherever you can find podcasts.
All right. Well, once again, thanks so much, guys. And I'm still going to try to figure out a fandom name for you guys. Or put what you want to be called down below in comments if we're on YouTube or anywhere that has comments. All right. Well, bye, guys.
Bye.